Hello, everybody. Michael is here. And before we start, no, this channel is not just going to be a versus channel from now on. I'm just branching out with some new styles of content. And that brings us to some of my favorite fictional universes, the God of War universe and the SCP universe. Now, the SCP universe is one of, if not the most powerful universe in all of fiction, and makes most other fictional universes look like child's play in comparison. One of those universes being the God of War universe. And this brings us to today's target, Midnight. Now, Midnight made a video titled, "Could Kratos survive in the SCP Foundation universe? God of War meets the SCP Foundation." That might not sound so bad, but I do indeed have some issues with it, of which need to be addressed. To start off, he talks about some of the lower SCPs like Abel, and can Kratos defeat those? Sure, I can get behind that. Abel can't compete with that kind of badass, and, well, Kratos is an absolute badass. But the real issue comes in when Midnight starts talking about some of the heavy hitters of the SCP universe. Like, according to Midnight, SCP-239, the Witch Child, is omnipotent, even though she had to train with SCP-343 to become stronger. So technically he overhyped both Kratos and the SCPs. Why would she need to train to become stronger if she's already omnipotent? Either the writers don't know what omnipotent means, or she just isn't omnipotent. Oh, and by the way, this is actually a reoccurring issue with Midnight's video, which I'll get into that later. As for some of the other reasons as to why he says Kratos can get past 239, basically he uses the excuse that, oh, she doesn't count because she's a safe class SCP. That's not the case. She's a Keter class SCP. And even if she wasn't, why would you make Kratos win like that by default? Isn't this supposed to be a test to see if Kratos can defeat the SCP universe? Midnight even claims that the SCP-239 can just wish anything away no matter what, like whenever she wants, which, first of all, that's a no-limits fallacy. Second of all, she can't just wish away hyperversal beings like the low Elder Gods. But she is more than capable of wishing Kratos away. And in terms of physical force alone, her skin can only be pierced by SCP-148. So it doesn't really matter what Kratos does, even if he used his most powerful weapons like the Blade of Olympus or the Gauntlets of Hercules, it wouldn't do any damage. And that's just the beginning of the issues with this video. He also claims that if Kratos fought SCP-682, 682 would have to grow to the size of a planet to beat him. And he claimed that Kratos can beat SCP-173 just by not blinking. Here are the problems with both of those arguments. 682 doesn't even need to grow to beat Kratos. Kratos' attacks can't even hurt SCP-682, let alone kill him. And even if they could, 682 has a Wolverine-style healing factor, and he can adapt and become resistant to all of Kratos' attacks, like he did with SCP-096 and SCP-173. But Kratos can't do the same to SCP-682. And by the way, that's just an avatar of 682. Its true form is capable of wiping out the low Elder Gods like Mikain and Yaldabaoth like it's nothing, and can casually wipe out all of creation and the Tree of Knowledge. As for 173, though he may just look like a harmless Weeping Angel ripoff, don't be fooled. In his true form, just like 682, he is capable of casually wiping out hyperversal to even outerversal threats. But Mike, didn't Kratos defeat gods too? Yes, but here's the thing. Gods don't work the same way in the SCP universe as they do in God of War. In God of War, the gods act more like demigods than actual gods. And they can't really compete with Greek gods and Norse gods from the actual mythologies. Take a shot every time I said God in that sentence. On to the next point. According to Midnight, Kratos can defeat the Gate Guardian because, get this, Kratos is a god and the Gate Guardian is only an angel.
You serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Again, gods in God of War and gods in SCP work in completely different ways. Plus, in a way, the Gate Guardian is both an angel and a god at the same time, as he's one of the low Elder Gods and is arguably one of, if not the most powerful of the low Elder Gods. And his sword has the heat of the entire sun even while in a dormant state. I don't know about you, but I highly doubt Kratos can survive the heat of the sun. But let's say he can. Let's be generous for a moment. Even then, the Gate Guardian doesn't really need to use his sword. He can just erase Kratos from existence. Kratos just has no way to counter that. But Mike, the gods in God of War are not omnipotent. No, they aren't. If they were, they would have just blinked Kratos out of existence. If they truly were nigh omnipotent, then how did Kratos defeat all of them even after his god essence was transferred into the Blade of Olympus and he became mortal again? Simple. It's because they couldn't. Next, Midnight again uses the omnipotence argument. He claims that the Scarlet King is omnipotent. I don't really think Midnight understands what omnipotent means. The Scarlet King was severely nerfed by the Brothers' death and defeated at the end of the War for Creation. If you are limited by an outside force, or any kind of force at all, then you aren't omnipotent. However, the Scarlet King absolutely demolishes Kratos. Not only did he shake the very concept of creation just by waking up in the morning, he was casually capable of destroying the Tree of Knowledge, which holds together infinite realities and all of creation. Even SCP-682 and SCP-173, in their true forms, can't even hold a candle to the Scarlet King's power. And the Scarlet King isn't even the most powerful SCP. There's also the High Elder Gods. They could have wiped out the Scarlet King by thinking too hard if they wanted to. And I'm not even exaggerating. All of creation being wiped out seems like child's play to them. Not insane enough for you? How about this? SCP-343, the Almighty, the creator of the SCP Omniverse. The entire SCP Omniverse, including the High Elder Gods, it all exists inside his mind. Even the Scarlet King and the High Elder Gods are nothing compared to his power. Even if you somehow think that Kratos can get past the Scarlet King and the High Elder Gods, I hope you realize that Kratos can't defeat an omniversal deity. And even if he could, somehow, he'd also have to face the out-of-verse SCPs, like SCP-3812, A Voice Behind Me, and SCP-001, Swan's Proposal. Even SCP-343 is inside their minds. Even for someone like Kratos, that's pretty much an instant game over. So Midnight, to answer your question, can Kratos survive in the SCP Foundation? No, not even close. With that said, my work here is done. Michael is no longer here.